The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Are you ready to take a journey? Let's connect with the healers of the world. It's that time. It's time for the Language of Healing on W4WN Radio and Talk4 TV. Now here's your host, Dr. Nicole Fortin.
Hello and good day, world. Welcome to the Language of Healing, where we're connecting with a great and powerful healer, wise witchy lady herself, Gillian White. I'm very excited about this chat today because we're talking about creating sacred spaces. And in a world that is overwhelming and chaotic and crazy, it's important to have a space for yourself so you can rest, recharge, and have that creative time for yourself to dream and, craft the world that you would wish to live in for yourself and your family. And November is all about that reflection time and remembrance time, right? So we're just riding that energy as we do reflect on the year, maybe how it all shook out. Did it play out as we'd hoped? Are there some things that we would have like to see differently? Are there things that are in our control that we can shift and change to evolve and grow, which to me is the point of living here on this earth, in this world, in this body, in this soul. It's an adventure. We have many adventures available to us, external and internal, and how those play together is always something that fascinates me and takes me around the world traveling, and definitely is endless study for me. So, oh yes, and today we've got Kindness Day coming up, so I'm sporting this special mug. So the message for today is be kind and don't tolerate bullshit. The world is a better place with more kindness to ourselves, to the people around us, to our homes, to our pets, to our nature. So let's bring this magical lady on. Let's welcome Gillian White to the show.
Hello.
Yay.
Oh, I need a mug.
Yes, this was a Christmas gift, and I think, yeah, the person who knows me well who got that.
I need one of those, and that's what we can create in our home, a no bullshit zone.
Yeah. Okay, Gillian, you know what I just totally love about you and your personality and your work is that you bring in so much fun to, life. Like, I follow you on Instagram, and your stories are always, they carry an important message, but with humor and lightheartedness. And it makes me giggle. And I think that's a space that's like really potent in healing and just living a good life.
Oh, I appreciate that. But life is so serious as it is. So why take it so seriously? We're not gonna be here that long, right? So enjoy it as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big joke anyways, with love.
Right, I know. Yeah, it's like a movie, the world, and because we're all like reading it and perceiving it differently. We might have different themes in our lives. You come together, in community, but the world is a stage, and we can create like more of what we want. Some things you can't control, right? But
no, and that's the thing. And that's what helps me is focusing what is actually working for me than rather what's not. Because if I get focused on the things aren't going so well, of course, that takes you into more of a darkness. And I do struggle with anxiety and depression. So I just do my best to focus on what is working and celebrate that. Celebrate the small steps and knowing that each step is creating momentum, and just bringing joy into my life. Doesn't mean I'm ignoring the reality of life. It's just, what am I feeding?
Yes. The two wolves, right?
Yeah.
That analogy. Yeah. So yeah, what are some, well, what's going on in your world lately? You do have, you know, you're often teaching, and I mean, you're leading global adventures for women and incorporating this craftiness. It's such a cool job that you have.
It is a
purpose
job that was not planned, but yes, I was just in Scotland this fall with a group of wild women. And then October was very busy. Apparently everybody wants a witch in October. So teaching at different events and conferences, and inspiring people to find their magical ways. And right now I'm actually leaning into a little more rest. I like to follow what the seasons are doing. So you look to nature in in the area that we live in right now, but it's getting quieter, darker. So I try not to over plan. Do it, take time to replenish my soul and my energy. So I'm ready to go forward in the spring energy when it comes, and when we're starting to plant those seeds, our dream seeds of intentions. And but yeah,
yeah, we need that quietness. Yeah, there was a quote that you had. I brought it up last week. It was about November being like, you know, a space almost of emptiness, and from emptiness comes things. Do you remember? I don't have that in front of me now.
Oh, gosh, no, I don't. But that's a good one. No, but it's true. I mean, you have to actually pause. People feel like there's no action in pause, but there's a lot of action in pause. Oh, yeah, did I cut out? Yeah. But this is where we can actually plant those seeds. We have to take time to plant and dream and think about what didn't work and think about what did work. So you need that time of reflection so that you can make positive choices for yourself in the future. So yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise you're just kind of like rolling with it. Like almost, that's where I find that the autopilot zone, you know, where you can kind of numb out to some things, like when you're not really taking that rest and that pause, you know, unless things are rolling like really well, you know. But every now and again you still need to take your car in for maintenance, like even if everything's peachy keen, you know. So it's like that for ourselves. And this time of year it seems like activities kind of ramp up. To me it's always felt a little bit going against the grain, and I can struggle at this time of year because it's like very busy and lots of activities when I just want to rest.
Yeah. Well, we're going against our natural state. We are nature, and we forget that. We are, as you know, air. We breathe in air. We have fire within our soul and our spirit, but it actually warms our body. You know, water is how we feel, and that's our emotions, and earth and how as we walk through this planet, but we're connected to it all. And right now, what is nature doing? And it's going to sleep. It's going quiet. Right. And instead, like you said, we ramp things up because of these modern conveniences. We always have lights going on. We're even busier online more than ever. So it's a lot of fire energy when we're actually supposed to be going quieter and more of the water energy right now. And then, of course, we're going against our natural state. So this is why we're tired. We get depressed and overwhelmed, and we're constantly in that fight mode because we're going against the tide of what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like the thought of that and all the energy that gets exerted, like to go against the grain is exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, you know what? Like, well, sorry, go ahead if you had something.
No, I was just saying, right? We're just swimming upstream. Yeah, it just doesn't work. We're going to go nowhere. So you might as well pause and rest and see. Where you can put your energy and where it has, you know, more value.
Unless, what if you called on like the salmon energy? Because I think they only swim upstream, right?
That's true. So some days we can call on that salmon when we really got to dig deep. You can't avoid, right? So that'd be great.
Yeah. I know,
do.
and like that's why, you know, to have that energy is so important. With Chinese medicine, or even like just in observing and flowing with the natural rhythms of life, if we don't align with it, like that's when we can, yeah, get really depleted, and then we move in, we don't transition well into the next season, and that snowballs, you know.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
so
like,
we repeat negative patterns because we don't
yeah,
to think what didn't work. And then
right.
start doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone came to you with some chaos, you know, and some things that aren't working, how would you start? Like, what are some, I don't know, mindful practices or rituals that we
You
might
know,
bring in to find more clarity?
well, there's a lot, but I always go back to your home because there's one place that can support you in whatever season you're in. Your home is the place that can inspire you and it can heal you. It can reignite you. It can recharge you. And that is the purpose of your home. So I'd always go to somebody's home and see what's happening there because it's a reflection. Their homes are everyone's home's a reflection of what's going on inside of them. So that's where I would start and give suggestions of what to do.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my challenge, I just on a personal note, is I moved from like a bigger space into quite a smaller space, and it's like been a challenge to fit it all in or how to reorganize. And you know, when space is tight, it like I feel that constriction in me as well.
And that's the energy of clutter, right?
Purging.
Yeah, and
Of what?
that would be the one of the biggest things I would recommend doing is clearing clutter. I know it sounds silly, but it's instant change if you move
Yeah,
stuff
of
out.
course.
And then you're creating room for new things to come into your life. Clutter is also, it brings your energy down. It's stagnant, right? So that's easily to get stuck. So the moment you start moving shit out, I'm telling you,
Mhm.
opportunities, doors start opening. I mean, when my husband and I, when I first started like the feng shui journey, and that is my base actually, people thought we won the lottery because, you know, money was flowing in rapid ways. And we had neighbors asking, did you win the lottery? Like, no. But that's when I just first started the feng shui journey. So I saw instant change. It
Mm.
really was about clutter clearing. It's amazing.
Mhm. Wow. Well, I mean, yeah, like we hold on to things. You know, I sometimes see things like of that sentimental um category, you know, like
Right.
old crafts from when I was a child. Or you know what I have a large collection of is like Beanie Babies.
Oh my goodness.
It's like right on that fad. Oh my gosh, so funny.
Yeah, and that's tough when we're attached, when we have that personal attachment, you know, and that brings on memories. But, you know, they're not always serving you either, right? And it would be nice to just go through the items. Okay, does this bring me joy, or does this make me feel uplifted and excited for things? And if it and then you might want to hold one of the Beanie Babies to your heart and see where it takes you in your body. And if it brings your energy up, awesome, keep it. If it feels a bit draining, it's time to release it. So I'm sure there's somebody who'd really appreciate right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then there's the mementos that were given from loved ones. And, you know, and sometimes they don't carry good energy. Say it's a relationship that's been a tough energy with somebody, a tough relationship, and they gave you this beautiful vase that's worth thousands of dollars, let's just say. No matter how fancy that vase is, it will always remind you of that sticky energy of that relationship, if that makes sense. It's sort of like a picture. If you have a photo of a family and they're all smiling and looking beautiful, but there was a fight before the photo was taken. It doesn't matter how beautiful they all look. It carries the energy of that fight. It reminds you of that fight. So items are either uplifting you or depleting you. They're rarely neutral.
Interesting. Yes. Yeah, 'cause
So
everything does carry, some energy around it.
And it's actually helpful to just go around and you pick up different items that you're not sure, close your eyes and tune in and notice what it makes you feel in your body. And if it feels draining, then put it aside and think about, okay, can I donate it or give it away? And start thinking about what is actually serving me in my home.
Right, right. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I think actually bringing it close to you and feeling that what happens in your body in response to it.
Yeah,
I did do the Marie Kondo style clean once, and there are some items that I regret having gotten rid of, and I think I was about to like move to another country, so it was like this clear purge thing, but now then I come back and looking through, it's like, oh, I missed that, or what happened to that. I guess some things are replaceable, other things not.
That's what really tune in, and check in, make sure this does feel good about it. But there's some items I've thought, oh gosh, why did I get rid of that black dress? But oh well, I guess it wasn't for me.
Yeah, so that's like a good time then, if you were to go through your home and start clearing some things or connecting and does it uplift or deplete you? It's beneficial to have a space, like get your sacred space or you're centered before doing that.
Oh, so, within yourself. Yeah.
Well, because then you can I think you make better choices, better decisions, when you're coming from a place of groundedness and not like flightiness or rushed or,
Well,
depressed.
I would set intention. What is my intention before I clear out things out of my home? How do I want my home to feel? What are things I want to manifest in my life? So you might want to start with a vision board for your home, right? Not just about items, but how you want to feel in your home, because a feng shui home or a magical home is one of feeling, right? You want to feel inspired. You want to feel excited. Your home is really like a big manifestation board. It's a vision board. So you have items in there that remind you of the abundance that you're calling into your life, or that perfect job that you want to call into your life, or the perfect home. You want to create your home as if it is the dream home. So yeah, you want to have that vision. So you might want to do like a meditation and just going through your home and seeing what things you want to call into your life, or like I said, do a vision board, an actual vision board. And what are important to you? Do you want to live by the ocean? You live in dry Alberta. Well, what can I do to make it feel like I'm living in a beautiful tropical place? Well, you would add more plants and you add more water. You create that dream as if it is happening right now. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I did that. Because I love the ocean and palm trees. I'm always... I love Alberta, of course. Certain times of year are better than others. But I painted my bedroom like one of my favorite colors of the ocean. Like it's this kind of teal, and then I have like this artwork that reminds me of places like Japan and Hawaii, or things that I've collected from those places. And my room is my favorite space. And then I have this like corally color to blend, like to kind of, I don't know, it's like being at the ocean.
Well, I find that interesting. Coral is a wonderful color to add in your bedroom. And I find a lot of people feng shui without knowing that they are, because it's all about feeling, right? And really, your bedroom is one of the most important rooms to work on, because you spend so much time in dream world in your bedroom, right? So you want to have that place again. That's your time to go inward. It's when you're going to bed. It's that quiet time. You're honoring the season of darkness in your bedroom. So you want that place where you can dream and get excited. So I'm excited that you created a space that represented a place that you like to travel to, or maybe one day live at. You want to create that dream now.
Yes, bring that in. Oof, I feel that. Yes, and all the plants. So, okay, so we can do some decluttering, really keeping items that are inspiring and uplifting to us, energizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring in some more plants, colors that make you feel good. And what else can we do to create?
Bringing nature in, you know,
Ah,
and the 5 elements, which is like, well, the wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So you want to bring in those elements and know that they can actually, there's 2 cycles though of them. So you don't want too much metal because that's a lot of yang
right.
energy. You want to make sure there's a balance, and you don't want too much wood energy, which is a yin energy, a quieter. You want to have a nice flow. So like a creative cycle is one where water feeds wood. So you would have, let's see, I'm trying to decide how I can work this out. Well, here's a good example. If there's too much water energy, so a bathroom has a lot of water energy, right? So what you'd want to do to balance it out, you bring some earth energy to dam it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, through like some
So you want
plants or
balance with
yeah,
plants, like bringing in even earthen objects, like even your bugs have earthenware kind of
yeah.
things. But
I
you
know
want
I
to
was
invite
actually
all
thinking
the
of like
elements in.
teacups and like tea cozies or something kind of like, because earth energy is like
Cozies and
mother energy.
mother healing. But also, if you work at your home, you don't want too much mother, like the earth energy, because you won't
Yeah,
feel motivated. You need that yang. You want to be able to that yang energy, which is a lot of metal, and adding that
yes.
vibe into your home kind of thing. So you have to have that balance.
Hmm. Well, I think that
Yeah.
I realize maybe I need a little bit more metal energy in my place.
Actually, and
Get a
that's a
little bit
great
more
way.
fire.
Like you can see, yeah, if you're feeling a bit stagnant, not moving, well, do I have too much wood maybe happening in my home, which is a yin energy kind of thing?
Mhm.
And maybe I can add some fire, or I can add some metal into that area to get me ignited and going again.
Mm,
Yeah.
amazing. Inspiring. Yes.
But
So yeah.
it's a bit, if I can, really summarize a lot of it is just you want to create a space that just uplifts you, that makes you feel supported, because when the outside world, as we know, can be very chaotic, and our bodies are mostly water, right? So our bodies are easily influenced by our outside environments, right? We're never in a fixed state. We're always in motion. So it's important that we have a home that represents what we're calling into our life. It's your intention, right? You want your home to carry that vibration of what you want to call into your life. And so when you leave the chaos of the world and you're feeling scattered and not well, when you walk into your doors, instantly you take that sigh of relief. You breathe. It's sort of like if you think about when you go to a spa, no one's even touched you, but the moment you walk in through the spa, from the smells, the soft sounds, the lowered lights, the soft lighting, you instantly feel a relief. Don't you find you exhale
Mhm.
compared to if you
Yeah.
go into a crazy mall, or
Right.
a business with those kind of what was it, lights, those long lights, I don't know,
Yeah.
that make you feel
Those like
give you
fluorescent lights,
headache.
like the
Those
dentist
fluorescent
office or
lights, right?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see how it changes your energy? So your home, you want to have it a fixed vibration of what will support you,
Mhm.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And yeah, of course. And I think a home needs like a good balance of both of those energies where you can rest and you can be creative and productive and uplifted.
Right. So you make specific zones. So your bedroom should be a place of rest, right? And then if you
Mhm.
work in your home, then you would have a little office, or you'd have your computer away from your bedroom if you have it on your kitchen table, but it's not in your bedroom. So you have specific areas that work on what different energies in your life, right? So you need time for activity and movement. So like even a gym, you wouldn't have that gym in your bedroom.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I have something in my eye. A little, I can see it. Sorry. Distracting. Oh, interesting. Well, there's clutter. There's clutter in my vision. I need to get rid of it. It's a message. You know what else happened to me this week? Well, not what else, but I got a flat tire. It's like kind of funny how, okay, how about the car as your environment? Do you feng shui cars?
Well, that too. I mean, you can feng shui anything. You want it clear and uncluttered kind of thing. You want to take care of it and get it checked on.
Yeah.
Right?
You know,
Make
I'm
sure
like,
it's full of gas.
Yeah, I'm so good at maintenance on it, but sometimes, you know, these little hiccups come along, and then it's like, okay, now what? You know what it's taught me though? I've noticed that I'm driving more slowly, maybe having more patience, you know?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because I think,
Yep.
I don't know, I find like I get a little bit wrapped up in the busyness, like, and maybe that's, you know, it's the duality of this time of year. It's busy, but also like slow down.
Yeah,
So
slow down, take time for you. You need to breathe, man. Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah.
again, I always go back when in doubt and when you don't know where to go and you feel stuck, where can you look in your home that you can make change and support you? Say there's someone who has a home that has zero clutter. I don't know who those people are, but apparently they do exist.
Yeah. Or they have good storage options. They're like,
but they can just even shift things within their home. You know, move about 20, I think it's 27 is the magical number. Yeah, because that rounds up to 9. But you move 27 items in your home. So hang a picture in a different area, move your knickknack to a different area and do it 27 times, and that will create change. Energy is energy.
Oh,
Everything
I love that.
Yeah, that's an easy one, right?
Yeah, you know what's so cool about that is that when we do acupuncture, they say it takes 27 minutes for the chi to run through the whole body. So you keep the needles in for the whole cycle. So it's almost like you're like your check and reset your whole body. Yeah. See, like,
well, I guess, and if you're a number person, it rounds up to 9. 9 is the number of completion, right?
Right. Yeah.
And wholeness. It's I was told it's the Mother Teresa number.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense because then we enter like another realm or another cycle.
Yeah.
From like 1 to 9 or 0. Even the number 0 is, I find interesting. Actually, even like well, in speaking of like the emptiness, there's like this in, you know, Taoism, the Wu Wei is like the nothingness. So like empty space. And then, you know, the Tao, when that's like the 10,000 things is what they say, right? It's like the Tao, the way is everything and it's nothing. And 0 represents like possibility, like everything and nothing at the same time. So yeah, it's like, and even 0 is like creates this sacred space. It's like a contained zone.
Contained zone of balance. It actually reminds me of, I never thought about that, but do you know runes?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the runes, and people use them for divination, and
they're like symbols, right? Like different symbols.
But there's one rune that has no symbol. It's just blank. So it's nothing and everything. So it's that's interesting.
Yeah.
Lots of similarities across many traditions and beliefs around the world.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
what everyone can connect with is nature, you know, and that's why I think I was always drawn to working with, you know, feng shui in your home, because nature is, well, it's just who we are. Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Well, I have been lucky to see your home. It's a very beautiful space, and you make it just like feel so welcoming, and like your plants, everything is just abundant.
Yeah, I have, so for some people, I have some friends that would say this is too much stuff. Like I have a lot of knickknacks and things. So it's not, feng shui is not a style or a design. Again, it's about feeling. So I created a home. I used to decorate my home back in the day for ready to resale. It's beige. The beige
yeah.
Have one big picture up, and because it was never my dream home at the time. But when I started learning this craft, these teachings, I learned how the importance of creating the home that represents me. So when someone walks into my home, I wanted to have a good sense of who I was. So I'm a very creative, and we're a big family. So there's a lot of personalities in here, but I have a big family art wall, as you've seen, from all the paintings the kids and my husband and I've painted. I'm not a painter, only when I'm a little tipsy, but ceiling paintings, and it just brings joy. The kids love looking at that. And I have a big family wall where, with the pictures of our happy times of our travels and stuff, floor to ceiling. Yeah, my space is full of love and things that I love. I used to teach classes in my home, and I would tell people, anything in this house, and if I don't have a good reason for it, or if it doesn't have a purpose, you can take it home with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't do that so much now since I don't practice. I need to go through my home still.
I know it's always like, you can always shift in things because every season we're different, like we may have the 4 seasons or 5, seasons with the little rest pause break between each one. But no 2 years are the same,
No.
like we're always evolving. Yeah.
We're always changing. So our plan should always change. We're in many phases, just as the moon, right? And not one phase is more important than the other. So it's important that we always reset. I like to actually follow even the moon cycle as well, because I can reset. So at the beginning of like a new moon, I can set my intentions. This is what I want to dream for myself. And then when it gets to the full moon, so during that time, I still make those action steps towards those dreams, what I'm working on. And then I can get to the reflection stage, maybe the full moon, and no, some of that wasn't really what I really needed in my life right now. Something shift, and then I can let that go. And a form of letting go, I would even sometimes, if I've written down those intentions, I would burn it at the end of the cycle. So every month I'm always reevaluating what's going on in my life and where do I want to make changes. So not just once a year,
right.
Year, like New Year's Eve, everyone's doing their New Year's Eve
resolutions.
Thank you. But so much.
Yeah, I've always thought like it's kind of funny because I don't think you do that because it's kind of catchy and we're gonna do this, like start the new year out right, but oftentimes it doesn't last because it hasn't really come from like you have to align like the conscious, subconscious, unconscious realms, like because if you consciously I'm gonna do this resolution, but like subconscious, unconscious isn't really caught up with it or is not on board with it because we have past experiences or certain beliefs or certain ways that we like operate that kind of get in the way of that, and then you're in this loop of like it could be easy to get down on yourself if you're not seeing the results or the progress, because it's like, and then that's going against the grain, consuming more energy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you lose motivation, right? You're like, oh, it's not working anyway. So I like to do the shorter cycles, like a month cycle.
Yeah.
The moon phase from new moon to full moon and back to the dark moon again, and using that cycle and reevaluate where I'm at. I've been going for years to my friend's full moon circle. It's Indigenous teachings. And It's beautiful. Every month I get a reset. We pray about things that did well. We pray for things that we want to call into your life, and we pray for things that didn't go so well, and we let it go, kind of thing. It's beautiful. And then you reset. So you're not carrying the same thing over and over again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a full moon coming up in a few days.
Oh, that's right. Friday.
That's like everything. That's like a completion cycle, right? Kind of like the 9 energy a little bit. And then it kind of goes, we're cleansing and releasing after that. So from full moon to new moon is like cleanse, release.
Right.
And then new moon to full moon is like build, plant seeds, build.
Yeah, that's why it's nice that during a new moon is setting your intentions, right? What is my intention for this moon cycle? What do I want to call into my life? So right now I want to call in more rest and maybe more activity for myself. And then you make those action steps and you build it up to the full moon. And then the full moon's an opportunity to look at, maybe that wasn't working for me after all. And what parts of that can I let go? Right. Maybe I didn't, maybe the idea of going to the gym 5 days a week, and I just wasn't able to keep up with that. So I let go of the idea of the 5 days a week and focus on the 3 that I have been doing. So yeah, like the full moon and after the full moon, when the moon starts waning, that is a time to let go.
Right.
Yeah. And we're not supposed to hang on things. Look at nature. Fall right now. Autumn. The trees are letting things go. For some reason, as humans, we like to hang on to shit, everything, not even just items.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And that hangs out in our energetic realm too. That can be a little weighty.
That's important to declutter our mental and spiritual selves as well, not just our physical world, and also our bodies and what's going on here spiritually and mentally and physically, and clear that out. And doing things like going to you, gang, your meridians all set up with our acupuncture and massage and releasing, helping move that energy out of our body, right? It is saging, smudging ourselves, like our energy fields. There's so many ways that we can clear clutter within ourselves.
Yeah, there was, I've done this a few times where, and it has to be in the right environment, but where you spend like full days in silence, like you're not like looking or at anyone, talking or consuming any like reading or music or TV. You're just like quiet with yourself, which can be a challenge. But the way I was taught, it's like it is the mental cleanse that or the mental health, that's taking part of it. Like we're really good at, like physical, like hygiene or going to the gym or like looking at our diets. But how often are we spending in quiet meditation, reflection? Like this is a big part of what keeps our body and our soul alive and well.
Yeah.
And it's something that doesn't get as much attention, or it's like a little bit, I don't know, there's a lot of misconceptions around like meditation.
Well, there is. And people feel like it has to be even long and elaborate. Actually, like we have the smallest moments. If you just turn off your phone for a moment and did nothing for a few minutes, that will create change in your life. There is no small act, right? So some people, when they hear, meditation, 20 minutes, a whole day, I cannot do it. And there's not even that effort. But if you know that you can just pause for even you putting your hand to your heart and taking 3 deep breaths, and I always do the sigh. I always do 3.
One feels good already.
Your energy shifts constantly. You're grounded. You're back into your body, right? It creates momentum and change in your life. It does not take a lot of effort. So you can even look at your day. So here I was talking about so there's the yearly phase, right? The seasons, the cycle of the year. But then there's also a month of seasons, like the phases of the moon, right? So you go from dark to light, back to dark again, right? In a month cycle. But you can do the same in a day. So the first thing in the morning, it's like your new moon, or it's like the spring. You wake up, you're excited, you set the intentions for your day. You put those dream seeds in. What am I going to do today? And then you're going to go through your day. You're going to do the best that you can. You're going to take those action steps, right, towards those intentions that you set in the morning. And then, you know, about afternoon, you're starting to peter out and get quieter. And those action steps are getting a little slower and slower until nighttime. You eat, you clean up, and you get ready for bed. And that's the time to reflect. What did I do well? And what didn't I? And you take your big imaginary eraser and you erase your day and you start over again.
Yeah, I think the erasing part, clean.
Right. So look at your day as the full season or the phases of the moon in one day. And I find that's actually so doable.
Yeah, I love that.
And it helps you create pause and invite pause into your life. So, you know, okay, I'm going to nighttime. This is a time to turn off the phone. This is a time to maybe just pick up a book and read quietly. Maybe I always suggest people to have a altar in their bedroom, you know, an altar that represents things that they want to call into your life. So it doesn't have to be spiritual or anything. It could be just a picture of, say you want more peace in your life. So what reminds you of peace? So it might be a picture of a beach, right? With the ocean, soft ocean waves, or it might be just soft. You can have flowers or soft plant and a crystal like an amethyst for healing, and have that on your altar because you want to invite more peace into your life. So in the morning, you look at your altar and you think about the peace that you're calling into your life, and you go through the day. So what? Life happens, and then you go back home and you're reminded of what your intention is, and that's what you want to bring into your dream space, you know, and then you start. Yeah. And that's the importance of having an anchor point too in your home, or having your home as a anchor point. But if you can only even work on one little space, I would work on your bedroom and creating a little altar dedicated to you and your spiritual soul's journey kind of thing.
Yeah. It's nice to have those reminders. That's what makes it consistent. And then that creates more, like, you know, brings it into the material realm. You know, it can be an idea, but to really like manifest that.
Yeah, I find it really helpful.
Takes to be in that energy, like all, you know, often enough to bring that in.
Yeah, so it's always there. It's something to anchor you and remind you, and you can change it up and you can revisit it again and say, oh, I want to add this energy in. I need a little more fire. Oh, I'm looking for a job. What can I add there to make it look like I'm for that job? And remind me of the things I'm calling and working on in my life. Yeah.
All right. So if someone's looking to learn more from you or follow you, how can we find you?
Oh, your normal social media stuff.
Yeah. Love it.
You know, yeah. Right now I'm a little quieter, but I teach in-person classes. Sometimes I have online classes. It varies. I've been doing this for over 20 years now. I think I'm slowing down a bit. But
yeah. Okay, yeah. So we can find you then. You're Weaving Soul Magic, right?
Instagram.
Instagram.
And my website, JillianWhite.com. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And then, is anything coming up for you? What's next?
I am actually teaching an in-person class at this beautiful store in Calgary, metaphysical store, and it's crafting ceremonies. So inviting ceremony into your life and just going through the basics of how to create one for yourself, for your family, or if you run groups. And I just teaching different things that worked for me. And and then we'll be doing ritual together. One focusing on self-care and quiet and honoring the light within as it's starting to grow and awaken again after the winter.
Yeah. Well, ceremony. What difference does that make for somebody?
Oh,
a
ceremony.
crafted ceremony?
Well, I find it just brings meaning to your life, right? It's a wonderful opportunity to really focus on what you want to create in your life and manifest on, and helping you align with the season. So right now I will craft a ceremony around the season, right? Honoring the dark within, honoring the pause, but also that seed of light that's growing and getting excited for the next phase kind of thing. So I for that, it's really helpful in putting you in alignment with the seasons when you do ceremony. So I do focus on what's going on in nature and following the different Sabbats because I am a practicing witch. But also ritual too. Rituals are a little bit different from ceremonies, but they are intertwined. But ritual is something that you can do, and it doesn't have to be anything tied to like a Sabbat or a season or a birthday or a big event, but it can be just as moment as, instead of just drinking your coffee, you're making your coffee in a mindful way. You're taking it to your heart. You're inhaling it. You might be stirring it with things that you want to call into your life. So you stir it clockwise, that little, what am I calling into my life? You might breathe your gratitude into your cup and you drink your gratitude. So rituals are just as powerful as larger ceremonies, but a ritual is something that you can do every day for yourself to invite pause into your life. And it's simple, right? It's just adding your intention rather than just going about your day. You get dressed, you brush your teeth, and off you go. Maybe instead of just brushing your teeth, you brush your teeth and say a beautiful affirmation. I love myself. It's gonna be okay. That's a form of ritual, right?
Yes. Yeah, so, I saw this. No, it was like just like this little meme, you know, the good old social media vortex. But this little girl, she was looking in the mirror and she was just like so pumped, like, I love my house, I love my dad, I love my mom, I love my bedroom, you know, like, or whatever. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I love starting the day out like I'm reminded of that little girl, like in the mornings.
Well, and so that is a ritual, and
yeah,
the power of words. Your word is your magic wand. You can create massive shifts and change within your own life by just changing the way you speak to yourself and speak about life. And that's why I always try to focus on what is working rather than not, because that's what I want to magnify. I want to magnify the shit of the good things that are working for me. I acknowledge the lessons, the things that didn't work so well, because they are lessons. Thank you. Mwah, love you. And then I'm like, yes, it's going to be an amazing day, even though I'm like, I don't really feel it yet, but I'm going to be like, yes, I'm going to call that energy in.
Yeah. That's a good reminder for, you know, as we head into the holidays, and, you know, there's a lot of like things we can spin from a lot of past stuff, you know, which is always good. I think a blessing of that is that we get to reflect even more, and it's like, oh, funny that you would show up again, like that reaction, or, oh, where does this come from? Maybe we can let that little bit go. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, maybe
yeah, and that's
I'm just thinking of like, I don't know why I'm on the road rage. Like sometimes you'll see these like more times, you know, where people are just like a little impatient, or you're at a store, you know, and like you experience a bit of that like hastiness, and it doesn't always feel so.
But yes, there's more of that hastiness, are you saying, in the world?
Oh yeah, yes. What was I saying? Just, it's a good reminder, you know, to kind of like actually focus and call in that energy, especially when you're not feeling it, or you're surrounded by some chaos, you know, like creating a sacred space in your home, in your car, but also within you. So when you're on the move,
it's so true. I mean, people think of well, even think about karma. People think about karma as like, oh, you're a really bad person. Well, karma, you experience it all the time. So if you're going out in the world with a resting bitch face, you're probably going to receive, because it's just going to receive the same kind of energy back. You're going to receive that kind of vibe back. But I find if you're out there smiling, I get a different kind of vibration that comes back, a different kind of karma, and I get another smiling face back. I find I'm a collector of people. I sometimes have to put on blinders. I'm like, don't look at people, don't look at them, because all of a sudden they're telling me their life story, but probably because they're just putting off my energy, because I generally love people most days. And then I'll smile, and all of a sudden they're smiling, and all of a sudden we're just best friends and talk about menopause or what's going on in the world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where maybe like the containment comes in, right? Like really honoring that there's like a space for that connection, and then there's a space for more like internal inwardness.
Yes. Well, and also when you
get at that,
clearing out your own stuff and finding that peace and calm within yourself, when you find that wholeness within yourself, you're able to meet people where they're at. So when you meet family members, like you said, it's the holiday season coming up, a lot of old memories come up and past hurts and stuff. But when you're in such a space of wholeness, you have a home that supports you, you created a space for yourself and moments of pause for yourself, that when you meet people, you're not in a space of lack or emptiness, or you're in a space of wholeness. So you just meet people where they're at. So that creates space for them to be who they are. And all of a sudden there's just a softening. I don't know. I find it quite magical. I've seen miracles within relationships by people just showing up for them. No expectation, no resistance. It's just, oh, here you are. Isn't this interesting? I love that you're showing up as yourself. This is what I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Attachment, no anger, and people just soften in that energy. I find, I don't know.
Yeah. And then like things, possibilities, anything is possible in that space when you have space.
Right.
Well, that was a good, we have to leave already. Oh, it's already our time is up. Yeah. But that's good. Thank you for all your wisdom and your sharing your knowledge and experience. Always fun.
I always appreciate somebody who wants to listen to somebody rambling. I don't know.
All right. Well, yes. And if you would like to hear more of Jillian's rambling, you can check out her podcast and her socials. I love your podcast. So, she gets this voice that's like just so transfixing when you're in the zone. Crafting. I go
into my mother voice, and I lower it.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. So you can find that at JillianWhite.com or follow her on Instagram, Weaving Soul Magic with a K, the OG way.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, listeners, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on The Language of Healing on W4WN, Talk 4 TV. And that's it. That's all, folks.
Thank you.
Keep listening. Bye.
Wow, what a show today. And the journey does not stop here. Come travel the world with Nicole every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time as together we become more fluent in the language of healing on W4WN Radio and Talk 4 TV. See you next week.